Today I'll show you my top 10 fidget knives for just about any budget. I'm talking about stuff that cost as little as $20 all the way up to $100. Now, I don't want anyone to feel left out, so I made sure that there's something on this list for you. Of course, links to buy any of the knives I show you in this video will be listed down in the description. Hey, how you doing? If this is your first time here, welcome to the channel. My name is Jay. Go ahead and consider clicking on that subscribe if you're looking for knife reviews that get right to the point. Number 10 is going to be a new brand to the channel, and it's from Towerback. This is the CR18. It's really easy for me to fail on the deployment, but at least the closing, watch this. Oh, yeah, that's another story entirely. And it was doing that like right out of the box. And here's why. I got to bring it in kind of close so you can see this, because I was shocked. Yeah, that says IKBS. I know. I didn't think I would see it here on this knife, but the blade it comes in a little under 3 inches, so about 2.9, and you can tell it is hollow ground, and it's 9CR 18 MOV blade steel. It cuts really, really well, and yeah, that is in fact a recurve. Number 9, if you're looking for something that's maybe just a little bit larger, check out this reverse tanto from Kubi. It's the KU158. Now this is riding on a ceramic ball bearing pivot. So of course, oh yeah, the action's really good in both directions. And a big reason for that, if you look at that, you see that like that flipper tab design. Notice how it's like just above the pivot screw. Well, that makes deploying the blade really easy. And to me, this does not feel like a big knife, because Kubi was able to fit, okay, this is a 3.8 inch blade into a 4.7 inch handle. I just love when companies, like when they make two versions of the same knife, because that way you can try out like this budget one in D2 steel. If you like it enough, you can go ahead, pay a little bit more, and then get the fancy version in M390. This next one is from Kaiser at number 8. It's one of their newer releases, the Cormorant. You know what? Now I kind of understand what happened to disco music. Like when a trend gets exploited to the point where people start to despise it. Because, multiple deployment options, they're the current knife trend. And, well, Kaiser, they went ahead and took it to a whole new level with this Cormorant, which, by the way, it's a type of bird. Now, you can see all of the different deployment methods, the front, the back flipper, the thumb hole. You can even go ahead and use that button. But they focused on function over form, because that is one of the weirdest looking blades I've ever seen. It doesn't it doesn't do it for me. And yeah, this knife, it's a good time, and it does cut really well, but that's about where it ends for me. Coming in at number 7, this is from Ifengro, and it is the EF 950. I'm really hoping that this is not a clone of something, because I'm really liking this blade shape. It has a ball bearing pivot, of course, so the action here is absolutely nuts. Now, I don't know what the deal is inside here with the Omega springs, but this is by far the strongest axis lock that I have ever used. I mean, it's to the point I can't just use like one finger to disengage that lock. I have to use both because of how strong it is. But they did do one little nice attention to detail here. So if you notice right there on the handle, yeah, they removed a little bit of G10 on both sides. So to make it easier to get at that thumb hole, but I think that they needed to remove just a little bit more. I don't know what's going on here because number 6 is another new brand to the channel. Yeah, this is from IKIV. It's the G02. I need you to have an open mind with this one. So if you could just kind of look past that all that blue hardware with the blue and gold peel and ply carbon fiber over G10. And doesn't this really does look like another knife? Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the Bug Out just a little bit, but guess what else they have in common? No, I'm not just talking about the lock. Let me grab the Bug Out. The blade thickness, exactly the same. Yeah, 2.3 millimeters thick. This one also is really strong and requires 2-finger operation. Now, if the D2 blade is riding on a ball bearing pivot, so you can see, oh yeah, that action, man, is that good. Hey, if you're liking this video so far, go ahead and just give it a thumbs up. Number 5 is a knife. I'm not 100% sure on how to pronounce the name, so I'll go ahead and put it up on the screen now. But from Citivine, this is the ST103. For this one, Amazon has the weight listed incorrectly at about 5.6 ounces. And you know what? I almost passed on it for that very reason, and I'm glad I didn't, because the actual weight, 4 ounces. What's that, about 115 grams? But check out that blade. That is one of the most gorgeous Wharncliffe blades that I've ever seen. And they must have this detent dialed in perfectly, because it's impossible for me to fail the deployment. I can't do it. And that's a good sized blade. I mean, 3.46 inches with a relatively small, that's a pretty small flipper tab, yet I can't fail it. Now watch this. Oh, that closing. Man, is that good. I normally don't care about, I normally don't care about the box, but check out, this knife comes in this, yeah, there's a little rag in there. Yeah, that's a little like metal container. I don't know what I'm going to use it for, but it's cool. Number 4 now comes to us from the very same company that brought us this beauty. Yeah, the Scepter, one of my favorites. From Sencut, it is the Actium. Now, I'm sure that this has been said before, but this knife, it's basically a backlash with thumb studs, which is good because I love the backlash. But according to Wiktionary, okay, the name Actium, that's named after a town where a famous naval battle took place involving Mark Antony and Cleopatra. The action on mine, it was a little bit sticky at first, but it is finally, yeah, it's starting to break in really nice. Number 3 comes to us from Ganzo Firebird. This is the FH921. Now, I held off on buying this for a couple of reasons. The first one being, I don't like how this little like thumb divot area, I don't like how it looks, or these plastic thumb studs on both sides. Yeah, they're plastic and they look kind of cheap. But now that I have this in hand, I was so wrong to dismiss it. I really was. The action in both directions is fantastic. And those plastic thumb studs, they work so well. They are going to be, though, in the cutting path, which is why, if you see, yeah, they're removable with a T6. So you take them off and it'll just expose the thumb hole. But I love this blade shape. Kind of reminds me a little bit of a Sabenza blade. I don't know. What do you think? Number 2, from Civivi. I did go on Wiktionary and I listened to the correct pronunciation. This is the riffle. It's also the name for that sound, that's made when you're shuffling a deck of cards. I had no idea that that even had a name. But check out that big, beautiful drop point blade. And this time, Civivi went with 14C 28N steel. This micarta, it feels exactly the same as what's on the pintail. Of course, though, it being a Civivi, the action is great. Spidey flick, super easy to do. Now, lefties, you might have trouble. You might have trouble using this thumb hole, but all I do is I move my thumb down a little bit, and that seems to help with the deployment. It's a Blade HQ exclusive from CJRB. That's the Feldspar. When I first saw this exclusive version, I knew, oh yeah, that it had to be mine, because I absolutely love the Feldspar. I mean, everything is going to be the same except for the upgraded blade steel, which is now, yeah, S35VN. What I'm thinking about doing is I also have that the other exclusive version with the micarta scales. I think I might try taking them off and seeing if they fit on this guy. Hopefully it works. All right, up on the screen now is a video I think you really need to see next. And don't forget to go ahead and click on that subscribe. Hey, thanks for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you at the next video. Take care. See you later.